You contributed deeply to the theological life of the Presbyterian Church USA. You helped draft the Brief Statement of Faith, which is kind of a big deal.
Well,
I'm sure there must be a story there.
Yeah, it's the latest, of course, of our statements written by the American Presbyterians. Came out of our reunion in 1983, and then a process was set in place. I was not actually on the drafting committee. I was on the second committee because the process of adopting one of these things in the Presbyterian Church is a little convoluted.
Formidable.
Anyway, so by the time my committee received a first line of approval, and it was our job to look at all the material of comments. We had over 15,000 comments from Presbyterians around the country, and to make changes. And the drafting committee, as you might imagine, was very, very nervous about what we would do to their precious document. And some of them were really not pleased at one or two of the changes we made. But one of them I want to talk about is, I think, so powerful. The last section on the Holy Spirit begins, in a broken and fearful world, the Spirit gives us courage. And then it lists these things that the Spirit gives us courage to do. And one of the things we added was the phrase, to hear the voices of peoples long silenced. And we did that because of a man on the committee who was at the University of Dubuque, and he'd run a program there for years for Native American students coming mostly from the Dakotas who could do a BA and an MDiv in an accelerated fashion and go back to their people. He himself was an Indigenous person, and so very quiet man, told us the story of, he was originally from Alaska. His grandfather was the religious leader of this particular community and was the first convert. And my friend and his whole family, as they grew, embraced the faith. They were all Presbyterians. By the time my friend's parents had died, it fell to him to clean out the house. And he went up to the attic and found a trunk that he'd never seen opened. And he opened it, and inside was his grandfather's ceremonial robe, which he had put away at the time of his conversion. Wow. My friend got it out and put it on and felt his grandfather's voice. He said, that's something we need to do, is hear voices that have been silenced but can still speak.